Soledad O'Brien appeared before the Subcommittee on Communications and Technology as a witness for the hearing on disinformation and extremism in the media this week. And she blasted cable news as a place where, quote, facts often go to die. Let's take a look at a clip from her testimony.
Media, disguised as journalism, has been spreading lies for years, elevating liars and using the ensuing slugfest to chase ratings, hits, subscriptions, advertisers. Period. Full stop.
She went after Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. She even zeroed in on Russiagate queen herself, Rachel Maddow, saying Maddow and MSNBC chase ratings, tossed objectivity to the side, to further divide the public into left and right. Democratic strategist Andrew Feldman and culture reporter at The Federalist, Emily Jasinski, they join us now to discuss. Emily, I got to start with you. It's an interesting time. I didn't ever think I'd be a bedfellow with Soledad O'Brien, who herself is like an extremely annoying person online and often a leftist enforcer herself, much to many of these lies and other things that she castigates. But, I mean, in terms of the flatness of her testimony, I do agree with her. So what did you make of this entire episode?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with her, but I think there's something to be, and I agree with you about her, but I think there's something to sort of be remembered when it comes to the business models of media. Like, as consumers, even, you know, the lowest information voter knows that media is a business. And I think that's something that's sort of squarely in everybody's mind. It never hurts to remind news consumers of that. But some of this is sort of like, it's what makes it particularly egregious in the time that we exist in right now is that you have reporters who are draping themselves in sanctimony while they're also doing this sort of predictable business approach of the news media. And, half of what they do is like purely for clicks. So at the same time, like this is sort of an inevitable aspect of when you have a commoditized news media, people have to make money. That means that there is going to be sensationalism. It means that they are going to focus on, I was watching the nightly news a couple of weeks ago and there was like a 10-minute introductory segment on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Or if you look at like the difference in the time that they spent on Cuomo versus Ted Cruz's like silly little trip to Cancun. There's going to be sensationalism in it. But right now, what makes it so just nauseating is the fact that we have so many reporters who see themselves as our sort of like intellectual political firefighters. But at the same time, they're also just doing what, the media has always done.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
What's funny, and Andrew, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but you're probably the exact opposite. You probably like Soledad in general, but don't like these comments. Am I right about that? Because I basically feel the way Emily and Sagar do. Like, I'm not a big Soledad fan. She's come after me on something. I don't remember what.
Yes.
But I think she's often, goes all in on this, like, blue no matter who, liberal resistance persona. So I was refreshingly surprised to see her accurately call out media, cable news problems, and conspiracy mongering all the way around.
Look, I don't really give much thought to Soledad O'Brien, to be honest with you. But I just haven't. But I have to tell you that it's disturbing to me that we're trying to compare what CNN and MSNBC may do, and what they are doing is about ratings. I mean, the reality is, I'm not going to deny this. I talk to the media every day. There are a lot of decisions, even the decisions that folks, stories that the Hill publishes are about ratings. I mean, and about clicks. Absolutely. And the headlines that folks put on stories. But the reality is to compare what CNN and MSNBC are doing and what Fox News and Newsmax are doing is just mind-boggling to me. Yesterday,
CNN and MSNBC spent years perpetrating the Russian collusion.
One sec, Emily. Let him finish, then we'll let you get in there.
You had Tucker Carlson seemingly denying QAnon's existence over and over on his show, talking to people who believe in these conspiracy theories, who showed up at the insurrection. I mean, that is much different than spending time on Tiger Woods or spending time on Ted Cruz.
Nobody's mad about spending time on Tiger Woods.
Let me give you one example, okay? Chris Hayes having on Jonathan Chait to make the case that Trump has been a Russian asset since 1987. A position, by the way, that Chait is still holding on to this day.
2 days ago.
that okay?
No, I mean, it's a great example. And that's why, again, I feel like it's sort of easy for Soledad O'Brien, who's outside of the corporate media right now, to kick back and make this criticism. But it's like really true of everybody. And something that sort of irritates me, and I think it irritates a lot of conservatives, is when the left excuses their own side and looks through it. And it's not that people on the right don't do that either. But I'm saying, like, when they sort of say, we in the corporate press are uniquely neutral and objective and sanctimonious, that's what the problem is. I mean, if you watch Fox, CNN, and MSNBC, CNN and MSNBC were on the Russian collusion hoax for years. Yes. And when Fox would be skeptical of it, they would attack Fox. So, I mean, I actually think there is no equivalent there, but it's in the other direction.
But here's the thing. It's not just the corporate media. Like, I hate that terminology. It's every right now, it is every outlet. Every outlet is going for ratings and clicks, and it is a business. It's not corporate media or independent media. Right now, journalism is not what it once was. That's the reality.
Agreed.
It is.
So it needs to be more corporate.
So what do you think the answer is, Andrew?
Look, I don't think. Look, I would like to go back to a place where we're trying to report on just the facts and take some opinion out of the primetime lineups and even the dayside lineups. I don't know how we get there, because the reality is that everyone, even everyone who works in journalism right now I don't know how journalism survives. It's right now, people have to donate to their local papers. People are getting fired left and right in local news, and that's a problem. You have to remember how important this is.
Go ahead, Emily. What do you think?
Well, I was just going to say, actually, Sagar has one of, I think, the most lucid observations on all of this, and I'm sure he's pleased to hear me say that. But he talks about how we fetishize neutrality in this age of mass media, which has happened since about the 1950s, and that's not always been the case. But news outlets, I agree that this is a business, and that leads to like some sad coverage. Journalism is not in a good state, but I mean, it's not even just the Russian collusion hoax on the left. It was also like Kavanaugh. You can pick out a ton of examples of, long like pushing of conspiracies. So, I mean, yes, I agree that we can at least agree that journalism is in a really bad place.
All right, guys, we got to go, unfortunately. But this is good. This is one of my favorite panels in a while.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Next on Rising, investigative reporter Ken Klippenstein. He joins us on whether the FBI overstepped its investigation of the Capitol riots by tapping lawmakers' phones. We're going to take a listen when Rising continues.